I wonder who you think you are. Do you damn well think you're God or something? God give life, God taketh it away, not you. I think you are the devil itself.
You're touching me now. And 4 years ago when I started, I'm not quite sure when I'll strike again.
So the Ripper has kept his chilling promise and struck again, in the heart of Leeds where his brutal killings began 5 years ago. He once spoke of a vendetta against prostitutes, but this 13th killing, like the last one, was directed against a student. 20-year-old Jackie Hill, a girl described by detectives today as perfectly respectable. She'd been walking on Monday night down the quiet road which led for a few hundred yards from the main road to her hostel. Today, detectives confirmed her as a victim of the Yorkshire Ripper, and once again said they were sure someone must know him. And today, fellow students from the same hostel spoke of their fears.
It just really brings it home to you when it happens on your doorstep, and it's an incredible shock, because it could have been any of us, you know.
I felt pretty safe just coming up on the road from the main road there, but now this is happening. You can't even feel safe just coming up that road. And
Do you make a point of staying in at night?
yes, yeah, I do.
Most of the girls who lived in the block with Jackie Hill have already left, taken away by their parents. And police here are continuing to warn all women that they're now in grave danger, for they're sure that the Ripper will carry on killing until he's caught. This latest murder, though, has taught them one thing. They're now convinced that the Ripper lives and works in Leeds because of his detailed local knowledge. And that's why they're especially worried for the women in this city. Ken Rees, ITN.
Good morning, everybody. We are in the Headingley area of Leeds, and on Monday, November the 17th of 1980, Peter Sutcliffe was parked outside of this KFC. And on that night, Jacqueline Hill had been to a seminar. She was a student and she was wanting to be a probation officer, and she went to a probation seminar. And Monday, November the 17th of 1980 was a filthy cold night, wet night, and she would normally walk the 40 minutes back to her flats up here, but on this night she got a bus, and the bus pulled in just in front of the KFC where Peter Sutcliffe was waiting, eating a box of chicken, and he saw Jacqueline Hill get off the bus, and he drove down here up Alma Road and would attack her, and I'll get up there in 1 second, but I'll stop it and re-record. Christmas lights are still up. It is New Year's Eve. They will be going soon. Now, Andrea Proctor was a 19-year-old student, and she was doing this walk, and then she turned up Alma Road, which is here, and in the shadows, a bit like tonight, she saw something, and what she saw was Peter Sutcliffe murdering Jacqueline Hill. It says in the book she walked into the centre of the road and hurriedly walked. Which I always thought was the main road we were just on, but the student accommodations up here. Now, 25 minutes later, 33-year-old postgrad student Amma Hassan was walking up here as well. he stuck to the path, and around here he found Jacqueline Hill's bank card. And the student accommodation is just up here. But it's gonna be weird being here. When they investigated the bag, it had specks of blood on it, and they phoned the police. And the police didn't want to knock on all the doors of the student accommodation because it was about 2 a.m. by this point. And they brought Hussein back here to have a look. They didn't find anything. They spent, I think it was 2 minutes looking. But 9 a.m. the next morning, a man passing here would find mittens and called the police. And Donald Court, one of the managers, this is the Arndale Centre. It's changed a bit since then. But he was coming down a ramp down here and he saw what he thought was a mannequin. But it was the body of Jacqueline Hill. And yeah, this would be the final victim of Peter Sutcliffe. He was caught January the 2nd, 81, so about 7 weeks later. There was a plaque here for Jacqueline not that long ago, but it got taken down. But the council said they would do a more permanent marker for Jacqueline Hill. But I'm going to try and get to Jacqueline's grave, which is in Cleveland, which is the northeast. But I'm going to try and get there tomorrow. I might not, but I'm going to talk more about Jacqueline there. Her parents were worried about the Peter Sutcliffe, Yorkshire Ripper, trying not to give him that moniker. And so they advised her to come to this student accommodation up here because they thought it was safer. Probably because there had been no reports of the Ripper, because this is the north side of Leeds. But imagine having that horrible situation. It's still incredibly dark and eerie down here, isn't it? But these are the student accommodation up here. These you probably can't see just here. This is where she was trying to get to. Not far. Right. I will see you at the graveyard.
The tiny church was full. Among the mourners, some fellow students from Leeds University. They heard the vicar talk of the death of a much-loved and regular member of his congregation.
We feel a deep sense of shock, grief and anger because her death was not an accident, and we hope and pray there may be no more funerals like this one.
Then, by the family's special request, Jacqueline's favourite record rang out from the church. This is the day Jacqueline Hill would have come home for Christmas with her family. Instead, they wept over her coffin. Her boyfriend took a last look and then threw a coin into the grave. It's just over a month since she became the 13th victim of the Yorkshire Ripper. Detectives from the squad mingled with mourners, and from all of them, as the hunt goes on, a final message to a victim's family. Ken Rees, ITN, Middlesbrough.
This is where Jacqueline is buried, in this little graveyard near Middlesbrough. Her mother was Doreen, her dad was Jack. She had two siblings, Adrian and Vivian. And this is her local church yard, and she would teach at Sunday school when she wasn't at university here. She all her friends and all her family say how nice she was and what a good Samaritan she was. She isn't Peter Sutcliffe's last victim. She is a daughter. She was a young student who had a goal and a drive to be a probation officer. Treasured memories of Jacqueline Hill, a gentle and caring person, tragically killed 17th of November 1980, aged 20. Also John Robert Hill, dear husband and father, died broken-hearted 11th of July 1981, aged 49 years. How horrendous is that? The grief. This is it. This is the last cemetery. It's also conveniently the last actual video I'm recording up in the northeast. Is the last video for this series of videos, which have been hard to film, weather and location wise, and there's nothing to enjoy about them. They are interesting, I hope. It is New Year's Day today, and I hope you've all had a good time. I'll probably not releasing these until February, January, but Happy New Year to everyone, and hopefully I'll post more regularly, but I'm very busy at the moment with work and stuff. But I hope everyone's alright, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.